Welcome back to another 206 208 Sports podcast video. Today we're going to be recapping week one in the college football season and talking about our week two predictions. Carson, how are you doing today?
Doing good. The week's gone by pretty fast with, the Monday holiday. A lot of good games we were able to watch. Um, what was your thoughts on, our upset picks and frankly Wyoming losing 48-7 or whatever it was?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, pretty crazy stuff. I think in college football, you see a lot of teams come out in the early weeks and, it's just some of them are really explosive, really dominant, put in the work in the offseason. And some teams, struggle. I mean, it's, yeah, like, you kind of hinted at this earlier, talking about how some of the guys from the transfer portal don't really mesh
Yes, that's
together.
what I was saying.
Yeah, I feel like that's apparent with some of the teams so
So
far.
you look at our picks, we did pretty good. I predicted the Georgia score almost dead on. Um, I had it at 31-7. It was like 34-7 or whatever, 6. We swung and missed on Wyoming. I swung and missed on Virginia Tech. I didn't think they would lose to Vanderbilt. We both did. So we were 0-2 there. And then I thought Miami was going to lose to Florida, and Cam Ward looked amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I had Miami over Florida pretty easily. It's really not a question. Cam Ward is good. Currently number one in the Heisman voting after week one.
So who is your top three Heisman contenders right now?
I think right now we're going to go number three, Ashton Genty, number two, Travis Hunter, and number one, Cam Ward.
All right.
Yeah,
That's coming from a UW fan right there. Like
yeah.
he's
I mean,
not he's
obviously,
casual. He's not a casual, but that's respectful. My number three is Cam Ward's number one, Genty's number two, and Hunter's number three. If Genty, we'll touch on this later, can have a Heisman moment versus Oregon. If he carries Boise City to a victory, what do you think that will do to the national attention in the
I
media?
mean, yeah, I think Oregon, if Oregon does end up losing this game, it's going to look really bad. Obviously, really good for Boise State, but it's going to look really bad for their resume um, for the college football playoff. I mean, it's at the end of the day, like you just barely beat Idaho. It's
We
kind
could
of
go into that when we're previewing the BSU game. We're
yeah,
gonna
it's almost it's
stick by
almost
our picks.
it's almost undefendable. If you lose to Boise State, to say that Oregon is a one of the top teams in the country, where they were ranked third preseason.
Is that disrespecting Boise State?
Not no, it's not. I mean, it's Boise State is not ranked in the top 10. They're not in the top 25 right now either.
They're
It's
almost yeah.
yeah,
They're a top
and
25 caliber team.
they're a
Top
fringe top 25 team, and you know we don't really know what the defense. We don't really know, and so you have to be able to beat Boise State. Like it's not as it for Oregon, you have to be able to
if
beat.
you're an Oregon Ducks coach or a fan, you got to beat Boise State by more than 20 on Saturday, in my opinion.
I think you just got
Because
to win the game first.
Boise State, Jeff, there's been a lot of money rolling in on Boise State to cover that spread. I don't see it. The defense is just so bad. And I know it's the first game, and I know that they return a lot of production and that they looked really good at the end of the year against some good quality teams like UNLV and UCLA and Air Force and some quality opponents. But we need some D line pressure. We gave up 9 points in the first half. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We gave up 17 because we gave up a touchdown with the minute. Boise State, if they want to do good in that game, they got to do good, play their best football from the last 4 minutes of the second quarter to the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. In that 8 minute stretch, they gave up 28 points. They
Mhm.
cannot do that. They cannot do that if they want to beat Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's really going to come down to you got to execute on on the defensive side of the ball, but you got to put up points. You know,
I'm not worried about that. I think
yeah,
Maddox Madsen and Ashton Genty in this Boise State hype, I would consider this a high-powered offense.
yeah, yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
Their goal should be playing keep away football, 2 clock on. They just gotta win if they wanna win this game, they gotta have long drives that end in touchdowns and play penalty-free football, and I think they'll be in it in the 4th quarter if they do that. I'm not gonna predict a winner till, we make our predictions.
yeah. So,
Should we just pick the
yeah,
BSU game right now then?
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the predictions. Right now, I'll start.
Boise State at Oregon, 8 o'clock on Peacock,
Yeah,
19.5 point favorites for
I'll start
Oregon.
off with the Oregon Boise State game. I got Oregon winning 35-24. Um,
Ooh,
just don't really see I don't really see Oregon absolutely blowing them out. Yeah, 35-24.
you wanna know something? There's 2 things that's gonna happen in this game. Either Boise State's gonna lose 70-30, 70-24, and because Dan Lanning will run up the score if he can, or Oregon's not that good and Boise State comes out of there with a win, or it's like a one possession game and could go either way. And I'm leaning towards the opposite. I think Dan Lanning and his boys will be ready. Um, my keys for Boise State: turnover free football, take care of it, no penalties. Defensively, you got to disguise your pressure, right? You
Yeah.
roll 2 safeties in the box. Play cover 1 out of cover 2 looks. Play cover 2 out of cover 1 looks. Roll safeties, blitz, delay blitzes, bluff blitzes. You got to pull out all the stops if you want to win this game. And if you can do that, and Oregon, this isn't the UW offense that they faced last year. This is an offense that they could maintain. Boise State has maintained offenses like this in the past. They're getting the week 1 to week 2 jump Boise State did last year was tremendous. I expect the same thing.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I just think Oregon has a bounty on Boise State. Dan Lanning knows they're 0-3 versus Boise State, and that's all he's been preaching. National media has also said, CBS said they think they were overlooking Idaho for this Boise State game. So, in my opinion, I think it's going to be back and forth for the first two and a half, 3 quarters, and Oregon's going to score 2 touchdowns in garbage time, 56-31 Oregon.
Yeah. Next preview, UW versus Eastern Michigan. UW convincing win over Weber State week 1. My prediction for this game is a UW win. I'm going to go with the score of 42-21. 42-21. What are some thoughts?
24.5 point favorites, Big Ten Network, day game. Eastern Michigan coming across the country. I will say that it affects teams. BSU had to do that last week.
Yeah.
I think UW's going to roll in this game. This is going to be a Will Rogers come out game. Steve Belichick's going to play good defense. Give me the Huskies 45-10.
45-10. Okay.
I'm really high on this UW team this year. I think they're going to shut
Maybe maybe
them
I'll change it 42-17. Yeah, well 42-17. We'll go with
for
that.
you.
Yeah, 42-17.
Actually,
42.
I just really like that Steve Belichick defense.
Yeah.
Yes, it was against Weber State. This is a game where you get some depth in, like Weber State. You get some depth to play.
Mhm.
Maybe some O linemen and skill position guys defensively. You get them in the game in the late 3rd quarter and let them play in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the next game we got on slate, NC State traveling to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or is it Tennessee traveling? Hold on. I'm looking at it real quick. NC State is going to be coming in. Yep, this is the Dukes Mayo Classic neutral site game. It
Mhm.
looks like Tennessee's 8 points. Who do you got in that game?
I got Tennessee by 7. I got a 24-17 victory. Tennessee.
Tennessee?
24-17, Tennessee.
I'm really high on this Nico Amalele kid, or however you say it. NC State struggled versus Western Carolina. Back to the, Idaho Oregon game, overlooking for Tennessee. I really do believe also that Oregon was overlooking Idaho for BSU. They just don't have the culture to, Dan Lanning, in my opinion, has a weak culture. Anyways, we could get on that in a minute. I have NC State keeping it close for 2.5 quarters. Tennessee's going to win this game 31-17.
Solid. Next game, Michigan, Texas.
This is the big no. Should we do Iowa State and then the big game?
We'll go Michigan, Texas, Iowa State.
All right, Michigan, Texas. Michigan struggled versus Fresno State. A little rusty. Their 2 quarterback situation looks like a mess.
Yeah.
Give me Texas big. This is a come out party for Texas. I got Texas 31-13.
Yeah, I got Texas here too. I'm gonna say 34-10.
34-10. So we're kind of around the same. I mean, I have no faith in Michigan this year. Losing Connor Stallions was the biggest
It's gonna
loss.
be tough. Gonna be tough for Michigan. And now Iowa State.
I'll let you start this one off.
Tough one here. I'm gonna go Iowa. Iowa with the victory. We're gonna go 17-10. Iowa.
Ooh, that's high scoring. You want to know something? Iowa has the worst offense in college football. They played some nobody and put up 40 points. They're going to come in with confidence. That confidence will be diminished on the first drive of this game. Iowa will put up 6 points in this game. They'll get 2 field goals. Iowa State's going to get a defensive touchdown and a 52-yard field goal and win 10-6. Iowa State wins it on the road.
Okay.
So can we talk about this portal and potentially Oregon being frauds?
Yeah. I don't think it's just Oregon too. I don't think it's just Oregon with sorry, little camera adjustment. I don't think it's just Oregon that's struggling with this. I think you're seeing other teams just they're not really clicking, right? Yeah, I mean Oregon's probably the best example against Idaho in that game. But
in their defense, man, they put up the yardages to put up around 45 to 50 points. They just didn't execute it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Like you gotta put up the points. I mean that's how UW last year really did put up the yardages in the air through the air, but they also went down the field quickly, right?
Yeah.
And took shots at the end zone often connected. It's you got to trust your quarterback, got to trust your receivers. Just running down the field and kicking field goals, or running down the field and botching something, turning the ball over, is not going to win you anything in come December, January.
Okay, a couple questions for you. You live in that area, couple hours, 4 hours from UO. You watch their games, kind of what does their offense bring a challenge? What is Boise facing? Are they going to beat you vertically like UW, or do they do it a different way?
I don't think that they're going to come at Boise State with the full, like Dylan Gabriel needs to be that guy. I think they're going to try to, go through the ground, and they're going to try to go through the ground. They're going to try to establish the run, have it available, but at the end of the day, like they've got to put it, in the end zone. That's what it's going to come down to. Like, can Boise make some plays on defense? Can they do something to, even if they give up yards, not give up points?
Yeah, like bend but don't break. My question for you: the Boise State fans are scarred from Michael Penix and Roman Dunze. I'm still scarred from that.
Yeah.
Can Dylan Gabriel do that on Saturday?
No, not even not like no,
So,
there's
okay.
no chance of him doing what Penix did. You know
My
that
prediction
take
was
a
56 points, and part of that reason was because of the Michael Penix effect. I think Dylan Gabriel, they're going to try to go deep on us. I don't think it will work as much, but maybe, I don't know. The way Boise State gave up yards last week, they were long drives, you know?
yeah.
So if that might play into Boise State's favor, but they also like kick themselves in the foot. There's a lot of film for them to clean up. I have it as a 56-31 because it's kind of a I want to be proven wrong type deal.
Yeah, I get
Um,
it.
I don't know how this Oregon offense though. Like I do know, but like I think our DBs, we have Pac-12 defensive backs. Devon Banks, the UW transfer, guarded Romo Dunze in practice every single day. He's used to it. Irby played for Cal. He was their cornerback one. He's in our system. We have talent. Our pass rush just needs to get going because when you don't have pass rush, you're going to leave the DBs on an island.
Yeah, that no, that's 100% true. You got to go out and do it. That's what it comes down to. You got to go out and you got to execute. And Oregon has not done that with this group yet. I don't really care. It's early in the season. Like they have not had a game where they've gone out and executed. And I know it's only been one game, but that's just the truth. You know, you got to use that and don't make your team be the game where they do. You know, try.
I'm going to ask you a couple more questions because you're not confident in Oregon. If Genty rushes for 220 and two tutties, 2 to 3 tutties, does Boise State win this game?
I think it becomes a real one possession game, but I'm still going to lean Oregon.
If you're telling me that and with the game plan they're going to run, I know they're going to just shorten the game, try to chew the clock. I would say maybe. My
Yeah.
last question, I'm not confident in this Oregon O line. If Idaho can get pressure, Boise State has far better talent on the D line. They have a guy coming back that, teams like Oregon were calling to transfer illegally. I really believe, though, that if Oregon plays like they did last Saturday on the O line, Boise State could have 3 to 5 sacks, and that could be a game changer.
Yeah.
So,
We'll
what's your
see.
take on the Oregon O line?
I mean, yeah, obviously there's some question marks, but I think they'll be fine. I think they just got to figure it out, and that's it happens. There's going to be games where you you don't you don't execute. We kind of saw it with the offense too. They didn't score touchdowns. Like you know, the offensive line might have yeah, Gabriel pressure whatever, but they'll figure it out.
So, my last question about we're going to go to UW real quick. Big game versus Wazoo in Seattle next week.
Mhm.
No, that game's usually played on the last game of the season. This is going to be telling a lot. Is Jed Fish a really good coach to not overlook Eastern Michigan? I don't think he will.
Yeah, he will.
But what is your opinion on the game looming next Saturday on Peacock?
I don't think it's as big of a game for UW as it used to be. It's not a league game anymore. It's not a, you know, conference game. Sorry. It's not a conference game. And I think it's just another game and it's just another team. You got to come out and beat them just like every other team. I think that's kind of how UW has always thought of Wazoo, though, even though, it was a conference game, obviously in the previous meetings. But yeah.
Will the crowd be 70-30, 50-50, or all
Yeah,
like
70-30 UW for sure. 100%.
really you think?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we covered. We'll see you next week. Week 3, Boise State has a early bye,
Yeah.
but there's some big games next week. We'll get covered, and then we'll recap the BSU game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really happy or really surprised, or I'm going to be really pissed, and there's going to be a lot of answers needed. I will say this one last thing: the season is not over if you lose to Oregon.
Yeah, for sure.
11-1, 10-2, depending on the loss. 11-1 gets you in the playoffs. 10-2, you might need a little bit help.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about DJ Ungale real quick, or do we not have time?
He needs to improve. He'll improve.
Yeah, we said that last week.
He'll
Um, well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. All the likes on the video, like and subscribe for more. We're gonna push out more college football content and some golf shorts for you guys. Follow the X, please. We love to post on X. We're gonna start posting clips on X. So leave a like, subscribe, follow us on X, and have a great weekend. Enjoy your college football, fellas.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.